This is a candle picture we did in class. It's on mat board. I have to tell you that certain papers don't respond well to pastels. They just don't rub in very well. And I found that mat board works very well. Also, cardstock isn't too bad, and very smooth watercolor papers. So if you're going to do the pastel one, make sure you pick out and do a little experimenting first with your paper. But I'm just going to take 3 pastels here, a blue, a red, and a pink. And I'm just going to take a look at this picture, and I'm going to be just pushing up one, and a short one, and maybe this one's going to be taller. So I have 3 sized candles. I noticed that they're equidistant, so I think what I'll do is make the blue one, I think I'll make the red one of those flatter ones. Oh, they're still the same distance. Okay, I'll put this a little closer to the pink. There we go, different distance, see? Very important. Now, once you've put the 3 down, they're going to respond differently depending on the type of pigment they are. So one thing you can do that will really help you is turn on your hairdryer and on high, heat it up a bit. Okay, I did it for exactly 1 minute, and definitely I can feel the papers warm. Whoa, it's almost making my finger a little hot. But remember, wax melts, and you're looking for a soft edge near the top. If your pastel sort of bunches up in one place, now I've got to use the next finger. The red's getting a little bit, well, no, it's still warm. If you don't warm up your pastels, you're going to have a bit of a difficult time, unless you have very good quality art oil pastels. And there, the pink's responding nicely. Notice I didn't put very much pastel on. If you put too much on at one time, it all balls up. And make sure you leave room at the top. Very important. That's where the flame is going to be. And that's where you can work 2 hands. That's where the softest part of the candle should be. Okay, if you want to create light, you need soft edges at the source of the light. Maybe I'll work. Whoa, there we go. We're really working all our fingers. I'm going to take a little bit of the in there. Now, if you don't like to use your fingers, you can take a paper towel and do it. And that'll push things around too. Or one of those little blending stumps you can buy at the art store. Notice the paper towel picks up any excess, and there, I think I'm going to need a little adjustment on this one. Just going to need a little more. So I put a little more at the bottom. Put a little more at the bottom here. Pink. I think I'll put a little red at the bottom of the pink. And now take my finger, and it's not quite as good, see? So I'm going to heat it up again. Give it another minute. Look at, see, the difference is quite amazing. I'm going to put a little blue on this side. Wow, that's pretty hot. And I'm moving towards the bottom of the candles, you see. Definitely you have to heat these with a hairdryer. Or you can also work pastels under a heating pad. So if you put the heating pad on low and warm up everything underneath, they work really well. And pastels are a real finger thing if you like to work with your fingers. At the top, a little flick. Oh, and in whatever direction it goes is perfect. But usually the wick is in the middle. So there we go. A little flick. There we go. See that? And I don't touch it. Next, I put a little bit of red next to the blue. just a little bit. Not touching it, but just right on it. Very clean. Now you can use different yellows. This looks pretty much like a cadmium yellow, and I'm going to give it the swipe on something just to make sure it's really clean. Good. And now here's the important part. Maybe you don't see this on this picture, but this is quite thick. And what I do is I lay the yellow into the red, get my arm up. I can feel the weight of my arm on the pastel, and I take a breath and I do one flick, and whatever happens, I accept it. Okay, here we go. That's a good one. That's a good one. You don't touch it. It's very important. Now, this might need another little clean. Get rid of the red. Pick another section. Get it right on the red, not the blue. Get your arm up. Okay, my arm is right up, and here we go. I'm going to push it. 2 success stories here. Once we were doing this in the class and someone just didn't work. It looked like the candle had just been blown out. So accept whatever happens. Now this one, a lot of people would be intimidated by the top of the paper. Don't be intimidated. Here we go. Just put it down here and flick it right off the paper. Success. You've now completed the first part, and what I do now, depending on what you want, you can add a little texture at the bottom, not too much, of all the different colors. Get a reflective quality, maybe a little yellow down here for the light. And you can even just, how did I do that? Oh yeah, I remember. I need another piece of paper like this, put it on top, and take a little bit of the red on your finger at the bottom here, see? Put this here, skip a little spot, and pull down like this. Okay, skip a little spot on the pink, take a little bit of it. Pastels are great because you can always move them around. Pull down. Notice I'm leaving this little white area here, and the blue, maybe I'll just put a little extra blue there and take it on my finger, and pull down. And now we're getting a dripping effect. Light, dripping, reflection. Step 2 is coming up. But first of all, just take your dirty finger, right, or 3 or 4 of them, and get something going across like that. See? Right through everything. Perfect. Preferably on an angle. I have some kind of blue on the edge of my brush, and what I'm going to do is add a little bit at the bottom, just a couple strokes through like that.